Okay, so this is going to be a much different video than you've seen my channel, at least anyway, do before. It's not going to follow any sort of like scheme that's happened before. It's not going to be a bit more memey or anything like that. It is a mixture of I am testing how good I am at the game, like knowledge-wise, while also at the exact same time venting at this team and at my own poor performance from this game. So to start things off, this game was not a good game by any standards. They had a very equipped team. It was a bit of a problem, to be completely honest. We had an okay team. They just had an all-around better team fight than us. And there were so many things that both team could have done that, well, our team specifically is what I'm going to be talking about, that our team could have done to actually beat them and to just have a much better game than what we did. That I could have said. I'm not really that good at like typing in chat, so that's the main reason I didn't say it in this game. But that's like I should have actually like brought these things up and maybe try to convey this in the game. And there's just a variety of things that like I wish I did in this game that I didn't do. And as I said, this is a mixture of me trying to vent about what happened in this game, while also at the same time proving like I'd say at least reasonable amount of knowledge that I had. So when it came to this game, things were a bit iffy. Both the lanes were all kind of back and forth except for bot lane, which was just pure losing, which didn't make any sense because they're up against a Veigar early game and a Zyra. Like, even if they're not punishing them, they shouldn't be losing. It's an Alistar and a Kog'Maw. Wow. Best timing ever for a ding. But that happened. And not only that, but like the Malzahar was doing fine mid. I was being invaded, but we were capable of like defeating Vi afterward, and we had good rotation from our lanes. Fiora was winning top lane. Now I'm gonna say like even at the very end of this game, I did not perform good, but my entire team decided to use me as a scapegoat because I fucked up once, which it was a big mistake. I will not say that it wasn't, so it is understandable. But at the same time, I was not the sole reason that we lost, and there were a plethora of other reasons, such as like we didn't really have a tank to deal with Veigar, so we didn't have a better team fight at all. They would have just defeated us there. We would have lost this game even if I didn't make this mistake, is basically what I'm trying to say. But because this mistake was the last thing that happened before we lost, it's why it became the scapegoat for our entire team. And as I said, this was an off game for me, so I'm not going to lie, I was playing pretty poorly. I have played much better on this champion in the past, and I'm pretty sure it's in a good amount of videos too, so there is proof. But, yeah. So, first things first, Fiora was winning her lane. Fiora was winning her lane good, too. Like, it was against a Riven, and a behind Riven is still useful, but not as useful as a Fiora. Now, Fiora is a duelist. I can't think of her name. I'm pretty sure, isn't she like the Grand Duelist? Or that might be Jax. Something like that. She's the Grand Duelist. And she can probably 1v1 anyone on their team given the right circumstance. Maybe besides like Veigar, because he has his E, which she can flash out of and then immediately murder him because, you know, that's what Veigar does. But because of this, she didn't use her advantage at all. Like, she did not use her lead. What she should have done with her lead is continue to split push between top and middle and attracted more of, like, other people. And then I should have played more around that, sticking close by to her instead of trying to help out bot lane because they were just feeding. Like, I don't understand what they were doing, but they got Veigar and Zyra so fed that when I went down there, it was only more of a deficit than anything else. And the enemy team realized this and started playing around their Veigar and Zyra. Because of this, majority of the team was on the bot side of the map. It was like Echo and Vi would always be playing around them, sticking with them, And we could never kill Echo because he's Echo, so that was always a mistake. We always killed Vi, but it's Vi, so even if we kill her, she's just gonna come back stronger. She's still a reasonably strong tank. So like we were essentially losing every combat because we were trying to play around our bot lane, who was feeding, while they're playing around their bot lane, who was fed. And then our Fiora decided to waste her lead so much by literally standing in a tower, letting them attack her because she wanted the tower. And like, I agree with trying to get the tower, but you run away and then you come back. Now, as I said, I made the mistake there as I tried to also play around our bot lane because there was like their team was always there and I was trying to basically assist my team. But as I said, me being there was only more of a deficit because I ended up also either dying or not really being able to help my team that much. So because of this, me and Fiora should have like walked around on the top side of the map, just pushing it to their base and giving plenty of pressure. That way maybe our bot lane can get something else off, and our Malzahar, who was doing fabulous, by the way, he was just a great Malzahar, could maybe become even more fed or maybe have more of an easier time dealing with Veigar and Zyra and Echo and all of them. So, but then, yeah, Fiora decides to literally stand in a tower, not attacking them, so she wasn't taking tower shots, but they were just hitting her. And she would do nothing about it, and she died once there. Now that gave her bounty up. And then she decided to teleport behind Veigar and Zyra after a fight already happened. Like, excuse me, ma'am. The fight's already over. Yes, you're teleporting behind them, but they're fed. Yeah, you were fed, but you already kind of lost your lead a little bit from doing stupid things. So she got wiped out immediately. Then their team was roaming so much better than we were. They were roaming bot, roaming top, catching us out. They were just playing the map 10 times better than we were. And I'm trying to get dragons, doing a few other things. Now, the first thing that you can tell this is an off game, I was smiting really badly because I missed a smite, and it caused them to get a dragon. And it was a sad time. I was very upset with myself, and that's all I have to say about that one. It was just a very off game, and I am sorry. I am so very sorry to my team, but yet again, I was not the only reason, and we would have lost either way. But yeah, this is the first thing that happened is I didn't smite that, and they're just playing around our team, playing with our team. Our team is roaming, doing what I like to call the bad roam, which is roam after they've already shown. I think it is good to a degree, but it depends on team communication. So if you, depending on what champion you are and depending on what champion they are, I think counter roaming really isn't that great of an option. There is something that angers me a lot whenever I'm Veigar mid and the person I'm playing against happens to be like an Ahri. And for the first 10 minutes of the game, me and Ahri have been power farming, hitting each other every now and then to like see if we could kill the other, but both of us realizing we're not going to kill the other. Like, they're playing well enough around each other that we're not going to kill. So Ahri will roam bot, I'll ping she's missing, she'll appear bot, kill one of them, and then my bot lane will yell at me being like, why didn't you roam with her? And I'm going to be like, well, I don't know, I'm Veigar, I'm farming, she moves faster than me, why didn't you respond to the pings? Like, I don't need to roam with her in order for it to just work out. I think in some cases it's okay, but there are other cases where if you roam with them, you can also get caught at, and it will just be a waste of your time, and then both of you will die. And basically what our team was doing is, like, we were seeing where the enemy team was, and we were deciding to basically roam over and get people caught out, but then we weren't actually catching anyone out. And during this time, either a dragon's up, or like there are 3 other members on the opposite side of the map getting a tower, or catching one of us out, such as myself. Like when I'm in the jungle just kind of farming, and then they just blop up and be like, nah, you're gonna die now. Like, we weren't doing that well at all. The Kog'Maw could not I know I'm making kind of a big jump here, but the Kog'Maw could not survive more than 2 seconds. Now, I don't mean this just because they had a reasonable team of assassins. Like, they really did. They could do gap closers really well. But the problem was the Kog'Maw was basically actively walking into auto attack range and getting himself killed. He had no one to blame but himself for literally walking into the range and then just getting bulldozed because of his own idiocy. Our Malzahar, who was doing great from beginning to end, he was honestly the only thing really keeping us alive. He was just doing great, but we weren't really kiting for him as well as we could, and we can't kite for him that well because his ult has one major deficit that shows when there's a team fight going on, is he cannot move. Yes, he's immobilizing his enemy, but he's also immobilizing himself. So, while he's ulting someone, their entire team are high mobility champions. Like, all of them except for their bot lane are really high mobility. So he'd ult one of their bot lane members because they were the 2 strongest members they had, and then one of the other 3 members would jump on his face, and me and Alistar would either try to get them off, or we'd also be going in at the same time, so we wouldn't be close enough to get them off, and it was just a bad time. Like, we couldn't peel for our team, and Fiora, who was doing so good early on, lacks in a team fight. Like, Fiora herself isn't really a big team fight champion. She's much more of a 1v1, 1v2 type of scenario. Now, yes, she does have her team fight strengths. She is capable of ulting and just destroying someone, but it is much easier for her to ult one target and kill that one target when there's no one else preventing her than when she ults someone and then 4 other targets are like, no, you cannot hit them. And because of that, she was just like, she wasn't really getting much done. She would be able to get on her targets pretty easily, but the majority of their team had a lot of CC, and our team did not have as much. So they were capable of stopping her in her tracks and then killing her real quick, and then just turning to us and murdering us because, as I said, Malzahar couldn't move, and Alistar would go in or not be able to support. And then, as I said, like, Kog'Maw would either be not positioned properly, not in the fight at all, or he'd be the first to die because he went in for no apparent reason. And it was just a problem. Like, we did not have a good team combination. The fact that we didn't lose early on was mostly due to the fact that they weren't capitalizing off of their situations well. Like, a lot of times they were so far ahead that they thought, oh, let's double tower dive for this kill and see what happens, and then they'd both die, but then the other 3 members of their team would completely prevent us from being able to capitalize on those deaths at all. And we were making no progress. It was an uphill battle with boulders flying down, because every time that they actually did group or that we messed up, they would just destroy us, and it would be a no competition fight at all. Now, yeah. Then finally, like, towards the end of the game, what I finally did that completely messed up is I missmited, and Riven managed to kill Baron, which allowed them to do the final push, which ended the game, which is why I became a scapegoat. Now, as I said, I was playing really badly. You can see on the screen that my score was not great. And I understand that I really did mess up. I missed 2 different smites, one on a dragon, one on a baron. I understand that. I am annoyed by it too. I am frustrated that that's what happened, but it is. And I have no real choice but to accept the fact that it happened and move on. But when my team wants to say things like 4v5 and garbage jungle and so on and so forth, it's just like, well, bud, yeah, I wasn't playing good, but neither were you. Like, as I said, our ADC was getting a reasonable amount of kills, but walking in and not using them. Our Alistar was, yes, it's an Alistar, so they are more of a go-in type of support, but at the same time, we needed some sort of peel. I was just getting one shot. I would use all of my abilities, and then I'd get one shot. There was nothing more to it. I couldn't do anything more. And our Fiora, who destroyed her own lead. Like, all she had to do was just roam back and forth and play around topside and everything. And, like, the only way we would have won that game is if we not played League of Legends. If we did not let the enemy team play League of Legends. Like, every time they moved forward, we ran away, we moved forward in a different part of the map, we would pop out to kill one person at a time, like Death Bush type deal. That was the only way we would have actually won that game, because their team comp was just better. So yeah, any team comp with Veigar that hits late game is just better, especially a Veigar that gets fed early on, because how a Kog'Maw and Alistar are feeding to a Veigar early on, even with a Zyra, it just baffles me. But it's fine. You know, it's fine. And but still, just so that is the main reason that I just wanted to make this, is because I just wanted to say that our team, like, League of Legends is for most part a team game. Now, yes, one person can fail the team, can lose you the game, and one person can't win you the game. But this was not the case of just me alone failing the game. For the most part, I will say that as I said, I did do very bad. This was a very off game for me. I missed 2 smites. Usually, I never do that. Usually, I am on top of smites. But, yeah, it just did not go well. Our entire team, except for the Malzahar, for the most part, was playing well. And, yeah. So, if you do have any comments or anything about the video, then... or, like, if you agree with me or disagree with me saying such, you know, like, anything about what I've said or what should have happened in the game, how Fiora shouldn't have decided to, you know, int, and instead she should have decided to, like, just split push, and if we decided to play more kite-based, and our Kog'Maw didn't decide to just walk into their enemy team as if, you know, that's what he was supposed to be doing. And if we could just do anything to their team at all except for die. And capitalize off of the situations, actually split up. We were grouped when we shouldn't have been grouped, and we were split up when we shouldn't have been split up. It was just a very big lack of communication and lack of just team. It was just a major lack of anything in a game. If you agree with me, please leave a comment down below. If you disagree with me, then, you know, yet again, please leave a comment down below. But I would like for, like, either one, please, like, leave why or something along that line of why you think that my plan wouldn't have worked, or if you think that I'm just being stupid and that, like, it really was my bad for the entire game or something along that line. I would like to hear it. I do want to improve in the game to an extent, as I said, but, like, this just was a bad game. And yeah, so thank you all very much for watching this much different video. If you would like to see more of them, me like breaking down games and things here and there, I would like to improve on that as well, because this one is, it's okay how I broke down things, but I didn't really break them down and get that insanely specific. But to be truthful, I didn't also want to, like, super bore everyone. But yet again, like, if you do want to hear and see more of this, just leave a comment down below, put some likes on the video, you know, maybe hit that bell button, you know, hit notification, man, notifications. I definitely would not mind. But, yeah, so thank you all very much for watching, and I'm going to bid you all adieu. Goodbye.